Ladies and gentlemen, 6fig stock trader here on YouTube. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I think I am going to start the feed, so bear with me 1 second here. Sounds like everything's good. If you guys could let me know in the comments if you hear me okay. Testing. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you guys. So bear with me 1 second here. So the market is dumping, folks. The market is dumping. Bear with me. I'm just trying to get this live stream set up on this other screen. Okay, so we got Bitcoin dumping. And we kind of knew that the last few days, like I've been saying, right around this November 17th, I've been speculating that there's going to be a big move. And I was hoping this wouldn't be the move that was about to get made. So realistically, whoops, bear with me 1 second. We are looking at Bitcoin because this is what is going to move the market. And so right now we can see this thing really crushing right down through these Fibonacci channels. Let's just look at this thing on a daily chart. I just want to see what the wick looks like on this. Okay. So we still got 20 and a half hours before the next candle closes. We've got a pretty decent size wick on the bottom side of this. Doesn't mean that right now, since there's so much time left, so it doesn't mean that this is it or this is as bad as it's going to get. But currently we are sitting right at the very bottom of this wick as far as price action goes. So my suspicion is that we may see some sort of symmetrical triangle or something form. Let's just move over to a 1 hour chart. My suspicion is that we may see some sort of symmetrical triangle or something like this form on some of these smaller time frame candles, quite possibly. And this might do something like a dog leg or a bear leg to the downside. This would really surprise me, though, if this is it, and like this is the big moment where Bitcoin crashes. I mean, let's just kind of drop some trend lines, and really, we can see a very similar pattern. I mean, this is in the form of a rising wedge. There's no doubt about it. It's kind of similar to what we saw in April's crash in a way. And we saw price action come up, and we saw this rising wedge pattern form out of it. So you guys can kind of see how bad this stuff actually is. Right now, my biggest concern is, are we going to come down and really test on the daily chart this 50 moving average right now? So, if we see Bitcoin really trading down to around 58,600, this could be a nice bounce point for Bitcoin. I do think that right now, if we go ahead, and what we need to do is clear the charts, and we need to try to figure out if there's a Gartley pattern in here possibly. So with that said, we're going to run this complex chart or pattern and just confirm whether or not there could be Gartley here. And this might help determine where price will land down here. So with that said, let's get out the tools. We can see, I'm going to use this as my A point. So we're going to go X, A, B, C. And what we're looking for is a D point down here. So let's go ahead and just kind of throw up some measurements. And we can see that right now, this is actually in the golden zone. I'd like to call the golden zone, right in between the 786 and the 61.8. And I will get to the comments in here in just a second. Right now, I'm just kind of focusing on this TA. And so what we can see here is that price action came right up to this little golden zone here. And so now what we're going to do is measure from X up to A. And what I'm looking for is a candle to really kind of come down to the 61.8, but not go any lower than the 786. So this wick here does appear that we had some intrusion into this area here. So this is a good site. Well, not a good site, but an area of interest for point B. And so with that said, what we can go ahead and do is measure from point B to point A. And we are looking for somewhere around the 127 retracement. So let's go ahead and measure from B to A. And wouldn't you know it, look at this. This wick comes right down to the 127 retracement level. So this is exactly where we want to see D. Now, the caveat to this is that we have made this $60,500 level, but it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Bitcoin really run down to this $58,387 level. I do think that if we see it run down lower than that, we may have some bigger issues. As you can see, right around this 61.8 level is the current bottom of the barrel support levels for these mid $60,000 price tags. So, we can say, hey, is this just a shakeout, or what is going on? My biggest concern, on some of these larger time frame charts is that, we price strikes through this 50 and then comes down and strikes through the 200. That is my biggest concern at this point in time. And we would have to, see below 52,000 at this point. So we're not going to start talking those points until we see if Bitcoin even reaches down to these 161.8 levels around 58,000. So, whether or not this is just some sort of shakeout or maybe even some sort of Wyckoff pattern that is forming, nobody knows. But if you look carefully, let's just go ahead here because, there's a silver lining to everything. And I just want to go ahead and show something. Okay, so, even though we have this nasty dip here, if we reverse at this 161.8, we may see, and I don't know, we may see some sort of maybe inverse head and shoulders to the upside to go and test higher. Folks, this is going to take some very careful analysis going into tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to solve all the problems tonight here, but you can kind of see how this looks really messed up. You can kind of see how this might make sense, though, on the 12-hour chart. If Bitcoin did make an inverse head and shoulders like this or something like this, it would completely avoid this cloud and move up to the next level. So, what are we forming here? Are we forming this little inverse head and shoulders here? Are we forming a cup and handle here to move to the upside? The correct answer is nobody knows. I just don't want to see lows go any lower than like 58,000, somewhere in there. So I know there's a lot of people holding a lot of things right now, and I feel like we've just kind of thoroughly gone through Bitcoin. So let me know in the comments if you guys have any cryptos that you want me to take a look at. We're going to start off with Voyager Token because I do know there's a lot of people here that like Voyager Token. Then we will get into CKB. And look at this. So Voyager Token doesn't even seem phased by this Bitcoin drop off. So things are still looking decent for Voyager. We can definitely see that Voyager is in this symmetrical triangle squeeze. There's no hiding that. There's no denying that. And we can see that this is evident and still really trading into this November 17th, 18th date. Of course, we can see that price action is dipping a little bit since Bitcoin started its little plunge here, but we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of seeing the comments now. So we'll get Crow. I want to look at Crow. Let's look at that one right now. I think Voyager Token's still looking good. If you see Voyager Token trading below $2.63, we might have some issues. Or if it's trading around $2 and maybe 50-ish cents, we got some issues. But Voyager is looking strong. I mean, I'm surprised. Let's go to crypto.com. One of my favorite coins, crypto.com. I'll tell you why. Because I love the app. Straight up, I love the app. So crypto.com, just making sure everything looks good. SHIB listing on Gemini today. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. Right now, crypto.com, folks, let's look at this on a daily. I've been covering this. It's been a few days, and I look at so much charts. It's hard for me to really kind of remember what I was talking about the last time. So crypto.com, we can see the clear Elliott wave theory to the upside. There is going to be some sort of retracement on the daily for sure. And my guess would be that we will see this 50 moving average kind of move like this or move like this. And we will see price come down to meet it, possibly somewhere in the mid to lower 30-cent ranges before crypto.com can move upwards. A lot of times you will see price action rise like this and then come in closer to the cloud, kind of like it did here. Rose up, came down closer to the cloud, bounced off this 50 and 200 moving average. So I do think that is possibly what is going to happen with crypto.com. And let's just look at this on a smaller time frame, and we can kind of see this corrective wave happening. Wouldn't surprise me short term to see crypto.com come down to this 38-cent level, somewhere in there. I do have a bot that I haven't really talked about on my channel yet, but I do have, I guess I got my bot running on KuCoin. I'll talk to you guys about that some other time, but I've got an automated bot running on KuCoin. Now the cat's out of the bag. We will do CKB. Let's do CKB next. Do CKB next, and then we'll get into some other stuff here. The KuCoin gang, I like it. Yeah, I'm just getting used to KuCoin. I just set up a couple trading bots last week, and I really haven't checked them. But I'm sure they're suffering right now with this nasty thing that's going on with CKB. Unfortunately, it seems like CKB just gets screwed by Bitcoin every single time. So we are looking at the daily chart with CKB. We're trading at 2.5 cents, so we are losing ground fairly quickly. And of course, we are seeing a point in time where CKB was already in need of some sort of consolidation towards the cloud on the daily. And that's kind of what we've been waiting for ever since November 6th, 7th. I've been saying to everyone, CKB needs to trade sideways. For the most part, it has. But now Bitcoin's acting up, and we can kind of see what's happening. So my guess is when we start pulling the rug on Bitcoin, we're going to see on these daily charts prices start to come down and test some of these moving averages, like this 50 moving average. So, I mean, in reality, I think as long as this is not some sort of shakeout, and let's just say Bitcoin is really kind of going off the deep end here for a little while longer, like more than a couple days, we might see CKB run on down to this 0.022-ish, 0.023-ish level. So we could also kind of argue the fact that if that does happen, we will be kind of at this test point where we may fall to the cloud to test the cloud as well, meaning we do not want price action to come down through this cloud whatsoever to retest this 200 moving average that'll probably kind of curve like this. So we need to hold this 50 moving average. If that happens on the daily chart, RSI is at 60, so it's not it's not really anything to get crazy about. Okay. So let's look at these comments. We got 61 people in here. Let's see. Lemmy9 thinks that this is a shakeout. Big whales want some cheap Bitcoin before they run up to 75K. Let's talk about that, folks. Thanks for the comment, Lemmy. And you make kind of a good point. There is a lot of institutional money that wants to get into Bitcoin. And I mean, one big shakeout like this may just allow them to get in before we head to 75,000. If we do, like you said, we can note that there is some sort of a wedge pattern that did form here with Bitcoin. So I do think if you guys are just joining, there's 65 people here from what I can tell. We are definitely possibly coming down for a retest of these 58,000 level. And we will go ahead and we will run the Gartley pattern on this once again. Looks like Bubba Time says, how do you use bots? I should make a video on that. And like I said, I've got trading bots running right now. I've just got into them. So I'm going to let these things run for probably, a good week or two, maybe 3 weeks to see, how exactly they do it. Because if they turn out to be complete crap, I definitely don't want to promote that. But if they can increase a position by 10, 20%, that's something to possibly risk with a small position. Let's see what we got here. Any Cardano holders in here? Looks like Dre is in the house. What's up, man? Thank you for the comment. Also, big shout out to you for being a Patreon as well. So let's look at ADA and just see what's going on. My guess is this is going to kind of look like CKB. And yep. And so you can kind of see, I did a video on Cardano, and you can kind of see my my doodles that I made in the last video. Cardano was squeezing big time over the last few days, and I was kind of speculating that we would kind of get out to this area before we possibly move down. Turns out I was about a day off. I was also speculating the fact that we could be seeing this pull some sort of reversal and head to the upside. We would have had a pretty nice cup and handle if that would have happened. But let's just clear the charts on ADA. And what we did see was some sort of mild ascending triangle that was forming. Unfortunately, when you start seeing those ascending triangles off these nasty corrective waves, for those that don't know what the corrective wave is, this is what a corrective wave is. And, when we start seeing that, I mean, you could also make the argument that there could have been even a symmetrical triangle here. quite possibly. And once you start seeing that, that's never usually a good sign. But I do think that you could have argued the ascending triangle in this case for sure. But nonetheless, we have fallen. Let's look at ADA here quick. And I just want to look at this on a bigger picture because I know this thing's just been trading sideways forever. And let's see here. So I do think that if we see ADA, man, let's just try to pull up some basic Fibonacci here, folks. Bear with me 1 second. I really want to see where this thing might be at. So currently with Cardano, we are really tagging at this 382% level on a retracement scale from these latest highs. So I believe these are all-time highs back in September. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm just trying to keep up with the comments here. Marco's in the house. What's up, brother? Those CKB mining rigs looked awesome. ADA is my store of value investments. I'm long on ADA. I like that. Yep. So I do think that if the bottom falls on ADA, we might see $1.56 ADA. So that would not be good. And we can really see that would kind of make sense because below this $1.92 level, there's really no previous good support or resistance until we get down to about this $1.56 level. Now, like somebody was mentioning earlier, this could be a shakeout. It looks like we have somebody saying, looks like the market is starting to come back. Percentages are flipping. Okay, that's good to hear. We'll have to look at Bitcoin and some other charts. I believe you, but we'll just have to look at some of that stuff. So, ADA, if you see this thing really tumbling, you may want to think about your position or possibly rebuying back in around $1.56 if this thing takes off plummeting. One thing I know about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin loves to sell off while the US is sleeping, for sure. There's no questions about that. So with that said, we're looking at Cardano on the daily. It's sitting at 41. This thing's already been battered for so long that I do think this thing's going to put up a fight at this $1.92 level, in my opinion. Let's look at the comments section again. We got a good stream of people here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful night, even with the portfolios kind of looking jacked up. Let's just see. Anybody else have anything? I thought I saw. Let me know in the comments what you want me to look at, because if you've made a comment earlier, things just get buried so quick. Digital Jeff in the house. Big shout out to Digital Jeff. Waiting on Luna. All right, bro. I got you. So let's look at Luna for Digital Jeff. And Luna, it's been a minute since I checked out Luna. And bear with me here. We can see that. Bear with me. I just got to go to a larger chart. And I'm not sure when the last time I checked on Luna was. Let's see here. But I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. It might have been a couple of weeks ago. I don't recall. But we might have been speculating that there was a squeeze here. Does anybody in the comments know the last time I reviewed Luna? But anyways, you could see that we are speculating that there could be some sort of ascending triangle that was building. It looks like price action did rip to the upside here. And we did end up getting more of quite possibly a rising wedge. Let's see here. I'm just looking at some of these comments. We'll do Polygon next. And then we'll do VeChain after Polygon. I like both of those. So right now, with Luna, you know, if we see this continuation happen, man, I just want to look at this thing on like a 4-hour chart. I want to clear everything off here. And let's just look at this at a super high level. We'll move on to the next one after that. Yeah. See, with Luna, this thing has kind of formed this little rising wedge. It appears, so don't quote me on that. If we break loose, I might go to a 12-hour chart. Peter says he had a rising wedge. Mrs. told me off. Man. Now that is funny as hell. Thank you for that. I think we could all use a little comedy when the market is going haywire. So right now on the 12-hour chart, Luna is really pressing on this 50 moving average. You can see the bears are pulling price down below this 50, but the bulls are buying the price right back up. And we can see that the candle body is resting right on this 50 moving average. So with that said, I do think that if Luna breaks free, and let's just say the market goes to shit and this rising wedge really does a nasty corrective wave, we may see Luna over the next few days kind of touch this $40 mark, in my opinion. Again, not financial or trading advice. That is just a possibility right now. It seems like that would, you know, be somewhat accurate, as we have some decent support here, and we do have some resistance levels along these lines. So I would say the psychologically $45 and $40 to the downside would possibly be where Luna ends up. Now let's look at what was it? So I know we said we'd do VeChain and Polygon. Let's look at AVAX quick, and we'll go to VeChain and Polygon after that. So Crypto Airborne, are you in the chat still? I know that I was doing some work on Avalanche, folks, and I don't remember. I gotta look this up quick on my other screen. One of 5 or 6 trading screens I've got here. So bear with me. You guys are going to absolutely go bonkers when I tell you this information. So Avalanche. I did a video on Avalanche and drew all this up. The video got 300 views and totally bombed. So I did that 12 days ago. What day was that? November 3rd. So let's look at this and see what happened after my ascending triangle prediction. So November 3rd was, let's get the daily out. I like the daily. So November 3rd was this candle here. And I was saying, folks, we got shit about to go down with Avalanche. This thing ran from, usually I do a video in the morning. It was probably around, you know, $75. This thing ran up to $103. $103 within a week or two. So, hey, congrats if you guys watch that video. That's why you guys got to watch all these other videos I'm doing, other than like CKB and whatever else. So, Avalanche. Okay, folks, I do think that Avalanche is a good coin. They just partnered with Voyager, so I know there's a lot of Voyager people in here, and we can kind of see the same patterns playing out right now as we saw in some of these other cryptos. This ended up developing some sort of rising wedge pattern. I do think that Avalanche is at a critical point in time that it needs to hold this trend line, and it looks like price is backing up, and what we will likely see is some sort of symmetrical triangle forming here. And let's just really look at this so we can kind of see how this thing's really squeezing at the end of this bear leg, and I'm hoping that we don't see Avalanche break to the downside. I do think that if it does break to the downside, man, you'd probably be looking at somewhere around these $82 price tags, possibly. You might see a little hold up at the $85, but I'd look for the 85 and 82, $81, $82 price tags if this goes to the downside. I'm interested in seeing where the 127% is after this measurement I do here. Right at this $88 level. Interesting. 161.8, that's the golden ratio, $85, just like I was just saying. So keep those points in mind right now. And I'm sorry, folks, I'm looking at all of these. Digital Jeff was able to get into AVAX. Nice. Okay, let's see. Max has a $14 average of AVAX. Congratulations, Max. That is freaking sweet. Let's see. Peter says he's too old for anything to ascend. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm not even going to go there. I wish you all the best. So let's go ahead and bear with me 1 second here. We are going to look at VeChain, and then we are going to go ahead and look at Polygon. So with VeChain, it's interesting because I was kind of speculating the other day that we might see some sort of cup and handle play out. And this thing, I haven't checked on VeChain in a couple days or since the last time I did that video. When was that? I got to look at my channel again. I do all these videos and then I just never follow up on stuff like I should. So VeChain, oh, I did a video on VeChain yesterday. Silly me. So here we are. VeChain price is getting butchered. I would definitely say that this 14-cent level is definitely an option. There's no questions about that. I'm just curious here, though. Yeah, let's see here. I am going to say for VeChain, you know, anything's possible. And I would say that right down to this 14.5-cent level to 13, high 13-cent level could definitely be possible. And if we just kind of look at some of these trend lines, it kind of shows that there was some resistance here. So there might be some brief support here or some support for that matter. Right now, we are sitting at a pretty good support level. We can see that we've held this support since early November. So hopefully VeChain can get its act together and just pull a Yui and start heading to the upside. But if the market keeps tanking, look for this 0.0138, 0.01465 to, you know, as some precautionary points. And that just kind of, this 127 just really kind of lines up with this Fibonacci channel line. This is the, what is this? This is the 61.8, 50%. So this would be the 382 channel line here. So I don't know, guys. I think VeChain's looking good. Hopefully it doesn't drop any lower. So let's look at Polygon. And this is not financial or trading advice. And bear with me 1 second. I got to make it back to the comments section here. Okay, so let's look at Polygon to the dollar. And I mean, man. So here we go. Polygon is still in this. Looks like it's still in this little downfall. I really want to look at this on a daily chart, though. So on a daily chart, actually, Polygon is testing this 50 moving average, and this is huge. And we may see Polygon pull some sort of symmetrical triangle here, or even sideways trading. And what we need to do is have Polygon bounce above this Ichimoku cloud. If we see Polygon really trade through this cloud, I think we're going to see Polygon suffrage quite a bit. I do think that we will come down and test the 200 moving average, wherever that is. Let's go and look at, what I'm going to do here is just adjust this 200 moving average to the 175 and see if we can get this other moving average to pop up. Nothing. Okay, let's go to a 150. Nothing. So I'm going to bring this back to a 200, and we're going to look at a 12-hour chart. So let's look at this on a 12-hour chart. And damn, there's no 200 moving average on this either. Damn. So let's go ahead and just look at a 150 moving average. Okay. So my guess is that the 200 moving average is probably like down here on this 12-hour chart. And we could probably figure out exactly where that 200 is. And so my guess with the 200, it's probably right down by this 200% level. And not just because it's a 200 average. This is just kind of where I think the 200 average might be on a chart, on the 12-hour chart. So I do think that there could be a chance that we see Polygon kind of work its way down to this $1.43 level. But right now we are seeing Matic really tangle with this 161.8 level. So this is going to get interesting to see if it pulls a reversal at this point. So definitely, if this fails, look for maybe this. Man, you could maybe argue the $1.50 level, the $1.43 level. Those are levels that I would be paying attention to as things kind of move to the downside. But on the 12-hour chart, we're looking at RSI sitting at 39. So, I mean, this thing's pretty oversold. Even on the daily, it's sitting at 47. So I don't know how much more of a beating this thing's going to take, even with the market doing what it's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and reboot this to 200. And let's go back to the comment section here. Morning. I thank you. I wish I knew what that said. I apologize. I am not up to speed on that language. Let's see here. We got some fighting going on between Strika, the heavy hitter, and Crypto Airborne. And let's just see what these guys are arguing with each other about. So George it's a crypto LOL. Well, I'm too lazy to go back and see what y'all are fighting about, like cats. See, I'm just kidding with you, Strika. I'm just kidding. Yeah, absolutely agree with Marcos on this. Strika in Airborne. Airborne for sure has a huge rash. And definitely Athlete's Foot. So with that said, we have Jason Parker and Marcos wanting H-bar and BTT. So we will go and check that out. Oh man. Man, he was going to try to get me with the rash via hat. I'm on to you guys. Yeah, he's gonna just be careful of the lice. So let's go ahead, and we're only having fun. So let's just go ahead and we'll look at BTT, and then we'll move on to H-bar. So I usually always click on this one, and I usually pull up the wrong chart, but I'm not going to do that today. And so you can kind of see the last time we were looking at BTT, we had some speculation that BTT was about to start ripping. But BTT did not start to about ripping. So right now we definitely have BTT holding its ground during this turbulence in the market, and we are definitely seeing this symmetrical triangular squeeze, which we are just seeing this pattern pop up everywhere in the market right now. So with that said, we do know that the market's squeezing, and we are kind of waiting to see what Bitcoin does. Unfortunately, for BTT, I think this thing's probably going to trade anywhere between this 0.003 to 0.0042. If you see it breaking out of either of those, there may be some issues in store with BTT. So just to give you an idea of what maybe to expect to the upside, possibly 0.006 to 0.0068. And if we flip flop some things, let's go ahead and we may see BTT wander on down to this 0.003 or 0.00236. I'm hoping we don't see any of these levels down here by the golden ratio 161.8, but you could be looking at 0.00155. Thank you, Sean. I do appreciate the super chat more than you know. Definitely thank you for supporting the channel. I truly appreciate it. Let's see here. Someone says, looks like sunshine is in the house. How low can this flash dip go? It's like a big limbo. Let's look at H-bar, and then we'll take a quick peek at the Bitcoin chart to just do a quick checkup. Okay, so H-bar, like we must have did some TA on this the other night, and we can see that this symmetrical triangular squeeze produced some upside results, and it kind of looks like Bitcoin has ruined its party. So I want to look at this here. Yeah, damn. This was looking good too. So we did have a nice little falling wedge here on top of this trend line, which is a pretty good sign to see. Unfortunately, on the bounce, it looks like Bitcoin kind of killed the momentum of H-bar. So that's very unfortunate. And this thing was really looking like it wanted to cup and handle. And we can see the cup that formed. We can see that this formation came down. This is a nice bullish pattern, supposed to push the price up like it was already doing. Bitcoin struck and completely ruined the pattern. So now we are seeing, instead of a handle, we are seeing a nasty corrective wave. So my guess would be that H-bar comes down to retest possibly this trend line here, wherever that may be. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. Trinity says manipulation to a perfect greedy T. Yeah, you know, I couldn't agree with you. Definitely some wild stuff is going on. That is for sure. So on a 4-hour chart, we got H-bar really testing this 200. You can see the last two times we've tested, we've gotten a halfway decent bounce somewhat. Let's look. I want to see what this looks like on a 12-hour chart too. Yeah, so we can see that H-bar is testing this 50 moving average still on a 12-hour chart. I suppose that if the market turns around, we may end up seeing a handle here, but I would not be surprised to see price action maybe run down to this trend line here around the high 36 to 39 cent level. And if it falls, it may fall to, let's just go 34 cents to 38 cents to retest this 200 moving average. RSI is at 50 on this as well. So, you know what? This is kind of in the middle of the road. It's not really being killed by Bitcoin just quite yet. Yes, we do have a couple pretty bearish engulfing candles, but this thing still has a little bit of room to fall to kind of hop back into this symmetrical triangle. And if we get the bounce, what we will see is this symmetrical triangle just kind of postpone lift off. So let's look at the Mount Gox. Yes, Mount Gox, man. Digital Jeff says, did you hear about Mount Gox? Now, I haven't heard anything recent about Mount Gox, but excuse me one second. Sorry about that, folks. I was parched and I had to cough. So with that said, we have Mount Gox. I did an interview with Jordan Mack, who works at Nervous Network, who had a bunch of Bitcoin tied up into Mount Gox. And then the damn thing completely was hacked and all that. Going to be settling November 20th, 142,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so I hope. Oh, November 20th. Okay, so hopefully our guy Jordan Mack recovers some of his Bitcoin, or at least gets some cash out of the thing. People are seeing BTC is going down fast. Well, let's jump back on over to BTC. This is the situation room, or at least it seems like it is right now. So let's just look at Bitcoin once again. We got about 55, 60 people in here from what I can tell. I know my data that I'm seeing on this live stream thing is kind of delayed. So with that said, do I think that Bitcoin may hit 27K? I mentioned long ago. You know what? Not at this point. So basically the way when I was figuring all that stuff out, Bitcoin did set up for a very unusual move to possibly move down to that 20K level. But then we saw Bitcoin really kind of rip to the upside now. And that kind of basically deleted any possibility of my Gartley theory to that $20,000 price tag. It is possible, though. It is possible. I mean, maybe in a bear market or something like that, sure, we could see it. Currently, folks, right now, we can see our floor levels are right about here. They are right about here. And they are right about maybe somewhere in here. And what I want you guys to do is let's just see. Let's just throw up a couple more for shits and giggles. Somewhere right in here. We'll just do another one. Maybe I like this area right in here. So what I'm going to do is just throw up a little Fibonacci retracement and just see if any of these levels basically line up with anything I throw up on this. So let's go ahead. And we're close. Very close. So you can see the 23.6 spot on. 382 is close. 50% level is close. 61.8 is kind of off a little bit, but you can kind of see where this comes into play. So some of these lines that I drew up were quite accurate. I'm just going to go ahead and redraw this without the lines. So, obviously this $59,779 level, $53,961 level are definitely going to be possible areas of interest for Bitcoin to maybe travel on down to. But we need to really look at a smaller scale because we don't have a whole lot of data up in this area. And like I was kind of telling everybody else, there is a way that we can try to predict in a small time frame because we have very small data here. This is all the data we have that I can run this Gartley pattern on. So we are going to run a Gartley one more time just for the people that weren't here early on, to really try to figure out where this 127 was. So with that said, I do think that somewhere in here is a good. Looks like we got some information here. The Chinese government stated that the next step will focus on cracking down on large-scale mining. State-owned entities involved in mining and Bitcoin mining. Interesting. Okay, so we got. Let's just see. We will throw up the Gartley pattern here, folks, and I'm going to go from down here. We're going to just park A right here. We're going to put B right here, and we're going to put C right here. And the goal of this is to predict where D is. And so this is where Gartley is a really nice thing to use to try to find this. So with that said, we're going to measure from A to X. And what I like to see is price action right in between the 61.8 and 786 level. So this is looking extremely good. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and kind of put that little zone up there. So we're in the sweet spot. And then what I'm going to do is measure from here up to A. And we can see that usually I don't want to see anything coming below the 786 level. And so we can we want to see a sweet spot in between the 61.8 and the 786. So here we go. We got that. So this is indicating that there could be a Gartley pattern here. So with that said, this would indicate a bullish entry point. So with that said, we'll go from this point to this point, and the 127 mark would be approximately where a good buy-in point might be. Now, this works a lot better on bigger time frames. This is not something that you want to make a habit of, trying to run a Gartley pattern on these small time frame stuff, because it will definitely eat you alive with a smile on its face. So like I was kind of saying before, this $58,440 level, that's right around the 161.8. That's the golden ratio. So it wouldn't surprise me to really kind of see Bitcoin maybe wander on down to 60,000, 59,000, 58,000 in the short term. Obviously, if we start seeing it drag lower than this 59,700 level, if we see it dragging lower than this 58,000 level, further analysis will be required. Especially this $58,000 level, because like I was saying earlier, this is the bottom of the floor of support since October 19th. So this is going to be huge for Bitcoin, especially to hold some of this. This is not financial or trading advice or anything like that. So I just want to make that very clear. And we are just kind of doing wild speculation. So people panic sell all the time. You need to do your own research. Please don't stop at this channel as a one-stop shop. Definitely would highly encourage that you don't do that. Even though I think that I do okay at TA, but I don't want you guys to think that I am like the best out there. Let's just throw up a little pitchfork here. And we can see that right now, according to this pitchfork, we did try to enter multiple times this upper resistance band. And so for those of you guys that are not familiar with pitchforks, what we see is this orange line. This is what's called the median line. And so this is kind of like a neutral zone. This orange line. When price action is trading down here, that is trading in support. When we're trading up here, this is the resistance area. So you can see that we have been in this resistance area now for quite some time, since last December, believe it or not. We did come down briefly and hop out of it. So it's not really a surprise to me that we are seeing Bitcoin kind of bounce off this trend line. On this daily Bitcoin chart, This thing could possibly come down to test this median line at $53,000 to $55,000. There's no questions about that. So I think that's where Bitcoin stands right now. And see, I really only intended this live stream to go for like 15, 20 minutes. I just had a bunch of people blowing me up, and I thought I would just come on. We are coming up on an hour right now, and I'm just trying to look through the comments. Sorry, there's a few, and this chat is delayed for sure. So bear with me here. So I think what we're going to do is end the live stream here, folks. There's really not much more I can say. It looks like Bitcoin is kind of right around the $61,000 level. We'll get to StormX. We'll do one more. We'll do IOST. Okay. Digital Jeff says keep it going. Okay. I need you to DoorDash me a coffee. So let's look at this. What was I going to look at? StormX. I wanted to look at this Bitcoin chart on like a 5-minute chart, and just, it's not really coming back too much. So let's look at StormX, STMX. No problem, Jeremy. Glad to have you on board. I appreciate you watching. Farron is in the house. Big shout out to Farron. Thanks for being a Patreon as well, brother. I totally appreciate it. Now, StormX. Let me tell you guys about StormX and why this is the absolute #1 shitcoin that you may want to consider investing in, because I like it. So, like we can see on StormX, I hold StormX. I like it, and primarily like it because Crypto Airborne turned me on to it. And I know Crypto Airborne is a big StormX person. He's met the CEO, and StormX is really in its infant stages of growth. They want to get to 1 billion users on their platform, and currently they are at around 4 million the last I checked, although that number is growing every day. So in the last StormX video I did, I put on like a Ferrari or something. Let's just see here. I'll show you guys. I don't know how well you guys can see this, if you can see it at all. We got the Ferrari, baby. StormX to 5 cents. 488 views. You guys are killing me. My goodness. So with that said, I do think that StormX is looking really good. And this has really been trading sideways now since May of 21. So that is good news. And we are kind of filling out this huge ascending triangle. And on the daily chart, when I did that video 2 days ago, I was kind of saying how we are looking like we want to travel through this channel on Ichimoku Cloud. And this is a battle of the spinning tops. All of these spinning tops you're seeing here are probably a result of some low volume trading, because we can see that these candle bodies are just so small and the wicks are so long. So that's interesting. StormX on the dailies at 46. And I do think that if we can get a little pivot point, November 17th, 18th, 19th, and start trading up through this cloud, I do think that we'll see StormX come back up to this 5 cent level. Not trading advice or anything like that, but this pinch point here could also act as a bearish catalyst if Bitcoin is going down. So how far down will we see StormX go? I can almost assure you that we would see this really kind of maybe rip down. Again, this is not financial or trading advice. I always have to say that. Possibility of hitting a floor around 0.0229. So keep that in mind if you're holding StormX. And at that point, if this thing did get some sort of reversal, I think it would be likely that we may end up seeing some sort of descending triangle, which would be kind of a bearish pattern to see. And you might see a little pop and then a drop. And this would be a nasty little corrective wave. So let's not think about that yet until we sleep on this price action here. So somebody says can't see green screen. So I don't know what's going on. Can you guys see the screen? I'm just trying to look here. We got any others? So we got 49 people in here. That's awesome. Man, you guys are killing it. So I definitely appreciate every single person in this chat room, in this live feed. If you could smash that like button and let's really get this going. Looks like my Twitter feed is blowing up. Wow. People tweeting me that I need to come on for live streams. I'm on the live stream. So that's interesting. So you know the old saying, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I think I'm going to have to wrap this up. What about the fib time sequence on the 17th? And really, I wasn't able to find any concrete time sequence on the 17th, I don't think. This is just kind of more of what I was seeing with these patterns, stuff like that pointing. But we can throw up this Fibonacci. Perhaps we did see, we did have a time sequence on the 16th. Perhaps. So, and we might have one on the 17th here, 18th. So 16th to 18th for Storm X. Let me just see. Does anybody know how to turn photography into NFTs? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. It's pretty easy. So what you need to do is you need to take a picture that you like, and you need to find out, let's find out your favorite minting platform, and you need to find out how many megabytes you can mint into an NFT. I think it will differ from platform to platform, but then what you can do is, let's just say, for example, CKB, if you mint an NFT of some photography on Nervous Network, let's just say it's like a 10 megabyte max. You would just need to, in Photoshop, go down. You need to basically export that photo to a file size of 10 megabytes. So I hope that makes sense. I do a lot in Photoshop, and I do a lot in Premiere Pro, Lightroom. So if you need any help with that, maybe I should do a video on that. So with that said, Digital Jeff says he ain't leaving. Oh man, I'm in trouble. Digital Jeff started an NFT collection. Shill it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it right now. So shill that NFT collection. Where can I get it? Is it on OpenSea? Is it on Nervous Network? What chain? Or hit me up, because I want to help promote that. Oh, thanks, man. You know what? I get like seriously 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night if I'm lucky. It's not healthy at all. I'm waiting for Digital Jeff to shill the NFT collection. Let's see it. Is it called Crypto Airborne's Rash of NFTs? Or it has a bunch of NFTs, like different types of rashes. Haven't officially launched it yet, but it's ready to launch. Okay. Definitely let me know when you are about to launch that. If I can be of any help or anything like that to help promote that through my channels, I'd be more than happy to do that. So Crypto Airborne says, haha, because he just got punked. Sunshine says, "Don't be a rash, 6fig." I'm sorry. It's tough sometimes. So I do love all of you guys, and I'm going to hang it up now. It's been an hour 6, and we will go ahead and end the live stream. I just want to thank all of you guys for being here. Let's just do one quick checkup on good old Buttcoin. Just dragging the market. Yeah, so what we're seeing here is possibly, I mean, this could have just been a major shakeout to liquidate positions. And I'm just going to go off on this quick tangent here. So hear me out on this. So the way this works is these major players know that people on KuCoin, for example, other exchanges that can set limit orders, have all of these limit orders set. And so what they can do is hit some of these strategic points by selling Bitcoin, and it kind of creates a chain reaction. So by dropping and sacrificing the price and their Bitcoin a little bit, what happens is they go ahead and force all these other people, possibly millions of people around the world, to sell their coins cheap. And so what happens is, so let's just say they drop the price here. It's a domino effect. They wipe out everyone along the way. Those people then turn around and their coins flood the market, triggering further price decline. Those coins and those people that have their limits set a little bit lower get wiped out and their coins sell. And then you can kind of see it's like a trickle down effect that happens very quickly. And so when you start hearing of these flash crashes, and this is a corrective wave here, by the way, that is sometimes what happens. And so by sacrificing maybe from this point, a little bit of Bitcoin, what these whales can do is create this domino effect to buy back in here. And these whales aren't stupid. They know how to play the whale games, and they know what corrective waves look like. There's a chance we might see another corrective wave to the downside, and they may manipulate even further to wipe more people out. But I can guarantee you that if this is the bottom down here around 60,000, they probably sold a bunch of Bitcoin at 66 to 64,000, rebought down here at 60,000. It wouldn't surprise me if something like that happened. But with that said, so we got Digital Jeff. NFT collection is called Guru Cats. Cool. That's sick, dude. So everybody check out Digital Jeff's collection. Are you able to say what exchange that's going to launch on? Let's just see here. Definitely appreciate it, Farron. Definitely appreciate it. Mario or Mario, depending on where you're at in the world. Thank you. Just looks like Joquin says, buy the dip, CKB. Yeah, let's just end the night on CKB. I like that idea. Sitting at 0.0262. Looks like it's kind of leveled off with Bitcoin, and we are seeing some sort of widening megaphone impact here, and there may be some sort of inverse head and shoulders that could form here. I might possibly hop back up into this falling wedge. If that happens, we might be sitting good. So depending on the exchange, SolSea or OpenSea. Okay, cool. That's cool. So that is good to see. Thank you for the correction. I do appreciate that. Yeah, that sounds good, Digital Jeff. We'll keep that our eyes open for this. Nervous Network has a new NFT exchange called Collect. Pretty decent, low gas fees, stuff like that. Definitely not on the same level as OpenSea yet. So with that said, folks, if you could please smash that like button on the way out the door, I would appreciate it more than you guys know. We're 54 strong here at the end of the night, so my hat's off to you, and it's truly special to have each and every one of you here with me. I hope I was able to help you guys kind of try to figure out where this market is at right at the moment. But with that said, I can assure you we will be looking into this in about within the next 12 hours. I'll have a video out on CKB at least. So love you all, and we are going to X-nay the live stream. So hope you guys all have a wonderful night or day, depending on where you are at. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Also, check out the interview I did with Nervous Network's Jordan Mack. Just released it this morning. It's pretty fun. It's a good video if you are just looking to maybe go for a walk or do some chores around the house and you got some earbuds in, you got a drive ahead of you. Just a good video just to kind of relax to and vibe, man. This guy has been around crypto. He's been around the core development team at Bitcoin back in 2011. Like, I'm telling you, the guy is buck wild. So I highly recommend that you guys follow him on Twitter too. He's a bright mind, and I'm glad he is with Nervous. So with that said, I'm going to end the live stream now, and I will catch you guys tomorrow, I promise. So have a great night or day.